action. What is up, Travels with Buddy Nation on the Travels with Buddy station. Today is Friday, September the 1st. And it looks like summer's going to come back to us because it's supposed to be it's supposed to get up into the 90s this weekend and early this week. But so it's going to be a warm weekend. Hopefully we'll get up early, we'll take a walk before it starts getting too hot. But for today's exercises, we're going to work on increasing flexibility in the hips and the lower back. So I'm going to demonstrate some exercises that'll be good for doing just that, increasing the flexibility in those areas where a lot of people have tight muscles and sore muscles in those areas. So without further ado, I will get started on those exercises, and I'll put Bud in the other room. And then when I'm done making this exercise video, I'm going to make Bud supper because I know he's hungry. How Bud? But first, as always, I want to make sure Bud gets some camera time because he's a good-looking dog, and I know he's got a lot of fans, and they want to see him. And he's handsome, so we got to make sure he gets some camera time. How about? We got to do more walking videos too. I do a lot of I take pictures of him when I walk him, but I don't always upload them on YouTube. But I do take a lot of pictures of him. How about? All right, so without further ado, I will demonstrate those exercises. And Bud, you can spot me in the other room where it's a little cooler. Well, it's not so bad tonight. But tomorrow's going to be warm. All right, so I'll put Bud in the other room, and I will get started on those exercises. Bonk. And these exercises today, I'm going to do them, they're all going to be standing exercises, but I'll start by sitting on the floor just to get in the exercise mental frame of mind. Take 3 deep breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And I'll say the mantra. Namu Gurudev Namu. Namu Gurudev Namu. Gurudev Namu. That helps release stress and tension. All right, so begin the exercise. I'll start with the first one. Remember, it's very important to breathe during these exercises. Alright, I'll start with my hands. Actually, with this, I remembered my cell phone. So basically, for these exercises, I always like to do them for at least 1 to 3 minutes. But I usually demonstrate them for about a minute. So I set my timer on my phone for 1 minute, and it'll beep after a minute. So that way there I know I'm doing it for at least a minute anyway. Basically, when I stand up straight, I'll start with the hands on the side, and inhale, bring your arms up, slightly higher than shoulder width, and then exhale, bring them down, just about a minute. if you get tired within the minute, just stop, relax, take a few deep breaths, and then continue. If you want to go at your own pace. Oh, that was a minute already? Starts feeling really good, and alright. Okay, I'll stop there after a minute because I know it gets a little boring to watch. Alright, next exercise, I'll do this for about a minute. Excellent exercise to increase flexibility in the back of the neck, as well as the hips and the abdominals. So with this exercise, we'll start and we'll put our hands behind our head. You want to tuck your chin into your chest and gently flex your abdominal muscles as you lean forward. Slightly bend your knees. Basically, you want to inhale, twist to your right side, exhale, twist to your left side as far as you comfortably can. Oh, I should have set that for 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Just really started feeling good. After about a minute, that's when you really start feeling the blood pump into the muscles, and it starts feeling really good. But I know if you're watching the video, it gets boring to watch if you're watching the exercise for more than a minute, because usually after about a minute, you can figure out how to do the exercise. Okay, the next exercise, this exercise is good for balance as well as mobility. And you also, when you're doing this exercise, you're balancing on one foot, and you want to bring your foot. I'll start with the right foot. I'll explain it a little bit before I set the timer. I'm going to balance on one foot, and basically I'll balance on my left foot, and I'll kick my right foot out, and then bring it back, and then kick it out. And while you're do this for about a minute, while you're balancing on your left foot and kick with your right foot, just at a comfortable pace. And you want to twist at your waist slightly as far as you comfortably can while you're doing this exercise. And what this exercise does is it not only does it help work on your balance, but increases flexibility in the hips and strengthens obviously the leg that you're standing on. So I'm going to start with my my left leg, and I'll do that for about a minute. There. And as you can see, I lost my balance at the very last second. This exercise is a little more challenging than it looks. And I'll do the same thing with my balancing on my right leg. And you want to start off with just small kicks. Make sure you breathe during the exercise. For me, that exercise is more challenging than it looks. And remember, if you can't do the exercise for an entire minute, you can always just stop, rest for a few seconds, and then continue. Basically, you want to just, kick your foot back and forth. And as you get more advanced with that exercise, you'll probably find that you can kick your foot higher up in the front and swing your leg back way further in the back, as you're doing the exercise, as you get more and more advanced, and as you develop better balance and endurance during the exercise. All right, so the next exercise I'm going to do is like a side, it's like a side rock. It's really good for the obliques. And basically, you're just going to lean from one side to the next. Inhale, exhale. And you do this for about a minute. I think that was about a minute. I forgot to set my alarm on that exercise. It felt really good. Remember, doing this exercise, you want to have your feet about slightly wider than shoulder width, slightly bend your knees, and then just rock from back, from your left side to your right side, as far as you comfortably can on each side. And you want to slightly bend your knees as you're doing the exercise. Really feel a nice stretch in your obliques, your hips, your groin muscles, a lot of areas that you're probably not used, especially if you sit a lot, that your body's not used to moving and working, and you start feeling those muscles working and flex and stretch. It feels really good. And then the final exercise I'm going to do is basically, it's a Sufi grind, but it's a standing Sufi grind. And again, you want to bring your feet about slightly wider than shoulder width, knees slightly bent. In this exercise, instead of doing this in a seated position, we're going to do it standing. And when you're doing this exercise standing, you might find that you can probably, it feels slightly different. Feels different on the hips and in the back. You can probably lean forward further, you can probably lean back further. Just remember to breathe during the exercise. We'll start going the exercise, going counterclockwise for about a minute. All right, then after about a minute, you want to pause and go the opposite way, counterclockwise. Doing this exercise standing, it feels like it feels like I get a deeper stretch in my hips and in my lower back, especially when I'm tilting forward. But it's also more difficult to keep my balance when I'm doing it standing. A little more challenging for me anyway. It releases a lot of stress and tension in the back, lower abdominals, hips, all those muscles that get stiff and rigid from lack of movement in those areas. Now, some of these exercises look really silly. If you try them and you practice them, you'd be surprised how effective they are and how good they make you feel. I think that was about a minute. But anyways, that was a very good exercise. And not only did I feel it in my hips, but I also felt it in my legs, my quadriceps. Really good exercise. You gotta give it a try. Even though it looks really funny and silly, you give these exercises a try to the best of your ability. You'll be surprised at how well it'll make you feel. And remember, if you like these videos, make sure you subscribe to Travels with Buddy. Remember to keep training, keep taking those walks, and have an awesome day. All right, everybody. Peace out.